Today I'm taking a look at Once a Thief from John Woo, released in 1991. This edition is the limited 4K Blu-ray from Imprint Asia, who are doing some incredible stuff just now. And this is such an interesting John Woo film because it still has his signature style, but it's not full of the kind of typical doom-laden heroic bloodshed that he was typically doing at that time. This is John Woo having a bit of fun, and it has the art thieves, it has the French Riviera, it has kind of romance and double crosses, and as standard, Chow Yun-fat being effortlessly cool. We have Leslie Chung being charm and a little bit of vulnerability, and Cherie Chung holding the whole emotional triangle together. And yes, you will still get the action, the slow motion, the friendship and loyalty and betrayal, but here the tone is a lot more playful and a lot more fun. The film follows three orphans who just happen to grow up together and become international art thieves. Chow Yun-fat is Joe, Leslie Chung is Jim, and Cherie Chung is Cherie. And they're stylish, they're charming, they're extremely good at what they do, and you can see the kind of relationship that they have. And after a successful heist in the French Riviera, they're pulled into another job involving a valuable painting. But when things go wrong and they're double crossed by a former mentor, the film becomes this mix of crime caper, romance, action film, revenge, and a kind of friendship drama. But what makes this film work for me is the relationship between the three main leads. The heists are fun, the action is fun, and the locations are interesting and different. But the heart of the film is this trio who love each other, who hurt each other, who depend on each other, and can't quite escape the criminal family that has shaped them.
Volez pour moi ce tableau, je vous propose pour vous 5 millions.
翻譯下啦，唔該。
佢係俾200萬你哋，叫你偷幅畫喎。
哇，200萬？
你哋兩個話過唔再偷嘢㗎。
乜你講過嚟咩？
我好似冇講過噃。
喂，你哋唔可以講過唔算數㗎喎。
Chow Yun-fat is always going to be front and centre here. He's the movie star. He's the $1 million smile. He makes Joe cool and reckless, romantic, and a little bit ridiculous at certain moments as well. And what I love is that he isn't just playing the tragic John Woo hero this time. There is still emotions in amongst the character, but he gets to be really playful with that. A lot more fun. The serious nature of some of the other roles is taken out of this. And when the film asks him for feeling, he can switch into that as well. And then what makes him even good, even in a lighter John Woo film, he still gives the character a lot of weight. Leslie Chung is just important because he's the kind of counterpoint in the other male lead here. Yes, he's as charming and stylish and capable as well, but there's a kind of softer quality to him. He doesn't feel as if he is as assured as Jim, and that matters because it gives him a little bit of vulnerability, a little bit of something that he's looking to capture. He has a more honest heart here. Cherie Chung is the emotional centre. She's the pinpoint, the linchpin of these two guys that holds them together, and you can understand why both of them have feelings for her. There is clear affection. There is the feeling who have people who have spent their lives together. And when things get a little bit frazzled, as you do when you spend a lot of time with people, she's the glue that holds everybody together.
你知唔知嗰度邊度啊
I know，聖鹿角 church 啊嘛。
喺巴黎聖母院。我真係好希望喺嗰度行婚禮㗎。
John Woo is you can see he's having fun with the whole caper idea of this. It's still recognisably Woo. You can see his thematics coming through the storyline, but this isn't the killer where everything feels like a tragedy and everyone's going to die a brutal death. It's not bullet in the head where there's just going to be extreme trauma crushing people. This feels breezier, it's more romantic, and it's more playful, and it feels like that French crime caper, but with a kind of Hong Kong energy running through it, and that contrast is really enjoyable here. Now, of course, it's got this heists and action, and it's not as relentless as some of the other Wu movies, but he knows how to capture that movement to make it feel elegant. He understands the rhythm of an action set piece, and even though the film is lighter, the action isn't, and when the action hits, it's pretty hard going, and it's really well shot, and it's explosive, and it has that little bit of heroic bloodshed feeling to it without the bodily harm that comes with that kind of movie. The heists is where you can tell that Wu's having a hell of a lot of fun. The expensive settings and the setups and the payoffs, the French Riviera already gives it a different feeling. It feels kind of international and glossy, and it allows the characters to do these elaborate heists and different kind of set pieces, and you can see that he's enjoying shooting these as well. There's one other major player in this film, and it's Kenneth Tsang, who plays Mr. Chow, and he is the strong villain of the piece. He is the shadow that the trio can never quite escape. A father figure, a mentor, and a manipulator. And that makes the betrayal that he delivers more personal. They grew up under him, he's raised them, he's cared for them, but they're only as useful as they are useful for him, and that gives the film more than a kind of simple heist gone wrong. There's a personal element to this. For me, what works best is the trio of characters. They're great. I loved spending time with them, as much on heists as they were bickering in a cafe. The three of them together just was a perfect trio, and Wu shoots them all with a loving lens, giving them all time to shine on that as well, when it builds in these heists and the action and the villainous character and some twists and turns that come later on, that just add to the fun of everything. Now, the tone can feel uneven because it has comedy and it has romance and a little bit of action and a smidgen of melodrama, and it doesn't always work perfectly together. Some of the shifts can be quite broad, but you just need to go with the flow of this one, and for me, absolutely loved it. The 4K on this particularly was excellent. A lot of the French Riviera and the countryside just popped for me, just looking incredibly sharp and colourful, as did some of the more nighttime heist sequences later on as well. But I loved the kind of landscape shots that we had in this, where all the different colours just looked great. Let's dive into the disc and have a look at the extras. Here we are on the disc for Once a Thief. Let's go to the special features. First up, we have an audio commentary by Hong Kong film critic James Mudge. Next, we have Handling a Heist, an interview with director John Woo, which is 23 minutes 53 seconds, giving a real sort of backstory as to where he was in his career, the film he came off, coming on to this, why he chose to do this, and the influences that he had. Most interestingly, it was Jules and Jim, the Truffaut film, that really kind of sparked the genesis for the idea of this one. Thoughts about Thievery, an interview with screenwriter Clifton Cole, which is 21 minutes 24 seconds. Which is a really kind of fun talking head as well. Obviously, remembering back to this time, talking about getting the idea of writing this, how it was a little bit of everything that's included and very different from John Woo's wheelhouse. Then we have Stealing Some Shots, interview with the cinematographer Poon Hang Sang, and this runs for 27 minutes 10 seconds. Heist and Low is an interview with the producer Terence Chang, and again runs for 7 minutes 55. Art of the Steal is an interview with the editor David Wu. I continue to mention how much I love these little pieces, these Hong Kong Confidential. Inside Once a Thief with author Grady Hendrix. Now this runs for 7 minutes 55 seconds, and he just talks about where Wu was and how this was a sort of big swing at the fences for him, how he really came out and did something very different to kind of recover his reputation and some losses from the previous film. Once a star, always an icon, film critic ranked Jeng on actor Leslie Cheung. Now this runs for 17 minutes 8 seconds and gives an overview of his career, where he came from, what he really made an impact in, and some noticeable things within his filmography and singing career. Brothers in Arms is an archival interview with Terence Chang, which runs for 11 minutes 16 seconds. Up Close and Personal is an archival interview with John Woo, which runs for 35 minutes 24 seconds. And we have another archival interview with actor Kenneth Sang, which runs for 7 minutes exactly. There's an image gallery and the original theatrical trailer. Also included in this set is a hardback book with lots of behind the scenes pictures and screenshots and some wonderful essays about this film. That's the extras for Once a Thief. So there we have it. Once a Thief is a hugely enjoyable John Woo film. It's not his deepest or most devastating work, but it's definitely one of his most charming efforts. The heist material is fun. Chow Yun-fat again just stealing the show in amongst some really strong performances. And I just had a lot of fun revisiting this one. I'd love to know your thoughts on Once a Thief. Let me know if you love it, hate it, fall somewhere in the middle. As always, there is more content up here. You can see more of my stuff. In the description box below are links to Patreon, membership program and manvfilm.com, always in which you can support me. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.